4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 12. Okay, audio is good. All right, so I developed another technique, and I don't know why I didn't develop this sooner, but I was just kind of monkeying around, which is the training ground for developing new techniques as I've learned in this game. And it occurred to me that there was something I'd never done before in Fallout 2, and that is, I'm going to show you what that is. So watch this. The title of the video should just about explain it all. So what you're going to need to pull this technique off is you're going to need 2 jets. So at least 2 jets and at least 2 explosions. You do not need very much science skill at all here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and get out of conversation with the President Dick Nickerson. Use 2 jets on him. Hit the 5 button and go on yourself. That just fast forwarded time a little bit. Activate both of these exploders. 1, 2. Now hit the sneak button, the 1 button, then the 3 button. Go on to Dick. It wouldn't matter if he caught you or not, because once we use this technique, we do get unlimited techniques to do it over and over and over again. See what I mean? So you're not going to fail. So he's got 2 armed exploders on him. Now, hit the attack button and walk to here. And then run out here to this door here. Now, once you're downstairs, hit the 5 button on yourself. Fast forward time a half an hour. When you go upstairs, he's dead 100% of the time. So what's so good about this is that it buys you an out. So if you're speed running and when you're in San Francisco, you don't get good, what they call RNG in the shop inventory restocks, and you're unable to get all the super stim packs, well, I've bought you an out here. So now you need less, you can be less picky with the inventory that you use. So now, because of the development that I've made, you can come down here. You can move this guy out of the way. Move him over here. And then move this guy all the way over here. And now you can drop the bomb. You can go and real quick move this guy there. All right, now set this bomb. All right. So now Dick Nickerson's dead. We had that guaranteed. I was able to protect. I guarded the game against damage that didn't amount to lethal damage against Dick Nickerson, because sometimes if you put 1 explosion on him, well, what'll happen? It won't be enough. It'll do 49 damage, but you need to do like 57 to beat the guy. So what I did was created a method to get unlimited attempts to plant explosions on him without having to reload and restart the game, and guaranteed that you were going to be able to get the job done. So this wall locker right here has 2 C4s in it. This one right here has 1. So I came with 1. So now I'm going to show you something else. So now I'm going to show you what happened. So if I wanted to, look, I could, if I wanted to, I could, really take my speech skill up really high. And with this speech skill right here, I can talk to Sergeant Granite and he will join me to take this guy out. But somebody had once asked me, well, is it necessary to have Sergeant Granite join you? And well, the answer may surprise you, but it had never been tested before. And so I tested it to find out what happens And I'm going to show you what's going to happen 100% of the time. So now we don't really need a high science skill because we have the passkey. So you could probably have like 75. You know what I mean? So you log on and use the presidential. We had the passkey. And then we're able to activate counterinsurgency. So now what's going to happen is all these turrets are going to take on Frank. And now in due time, these guys, because we did not recruit them, they are going to help Frank Corrigan take out these turrets. So the answer to the big question that people were asking, what happens if you do not recruit Sergeant Granite, but you just use the presidential passkey? Well, what happens is that Sergeant Granite and all of his troopers plus Frank Corrigan tag team or tornado tag team on all of these turrets, and the turrets lose. There's just not enough luck baked into the cake for these turrets to score enough critical hits to get the best of Frank Corrigan. So what's going to happen is Frank Corrigan's going to systematically kill all these turrets. And then, of course, these guys, they're going to come around the corner and they're just going to, you know, whatever's still alive, these guys will take out. And that's not good for anybody. So, yeah, you're going to lose. You will die if you don't recruit the Sergeant Granite's men. So that's the answer, because it's just, I mean, you see what's going on here. That as soon as you aggro these turrets on Frank, you do seal your fate, because then, well, because for this particular kind of build, let's be honest here, you don't have a gun, you don't have anything. You know, you basically did like a pacifist build, right? So, you know, so go figure, you're at the end of the game without a gun in your hand. And so what would happen is what's happening right now, is the second you use the counterinsurgency protocol on this terminal, you seal your fate. Because now you're not just against Frank Corrigan, you're up against 4 other dudes, and they're all wearing the best armor in the game. So let's review that trick that I developed again. So, and let's explain how we're let me just fix my screen real quick. And now again, this technique was developed so that speedrunners would get a second out. So instead of having to having to restart their game, what I've brought to speedrunners is a way to salvage your game and safeguard against having to reload. So, and it's pretty darn simple what we do here. We're going to load this game, run up to Dick Nickerson, hold the 2 button down. Now you could use a whole bunch of beers too, but I prefer to use jet. Use 2 on him, so we're jet tricking Dick Nickerson. Use the 5 button on yourself to fast forward time. Alright, so now that you've done that, the next step is to set both of these explosions. Now, we're also going to be safeguarding against glitches and bugs by setting these bombs for a minute and then getting the heck out of here so that Dick Nickerson dies off screen. So because we've jet tricked him, we're now able to do this, and then even if he caught us, it wouldn't make a difference. He wouldn't aggro. See, no matter how many times we do this, he will not aggro. We can get that and see. We did this 100,000 times. It wouldn't make a difference. We are just getting away with this. So now that you've done this, hit the attack button. So you're going to want to have, you know, 10 action points would be good. That's what I've tested this with, 10 action points. We have 8 action points here and 1 rank of bonus moves, so that nets me 10 hexes. So that's what I've tested this at. Anyways, you move all the way down here. And then, you know, just kind of, there you go. So get out of here. When you got sneak on, it's hard to run. So now that we're on this screen, hit the 5 button on yourself and first aid. So now both of those explosions that were on Dick Nickerson are going to go off. So 100% of the time this works. 100% of the time. So I've created a super system. It's a backdoor strat for you. So when you're in San Francisco, say you're not able to get good inventory for super stim packs, but you are able to get a really gracious inventory selection with sticks of TNT and dynamite and stuff like that, well, you no longer need these super stim packs because of this technique. So, you know, is it gonna give you the fastest time in history? Well, I don't know, maybe not. But I tell you what, it works. So Now, let's take a look at what happens. Now, why I developed this was out of just sheer curiosity. So watch what happens.
Well, hello there.
If I give him 1, so first I'll prime him, and then we'll hit the 5 button on ourselves, and then we'll go to inventory, and we'll prep 1 and 2. Now, watch it. And actually, I'm going to take a super stim pack because I'm only going to give him 1. So if I give him 1, 50% of the time he lives. 50% of the time he lives when I just give him 1. So I'll go down here, and then as soon as we get down, we'll hit the 5 button and fast forward time. 50% of the time, with 1 explosion, he's going to die. And then, of course, so we can. I'll try it again. But again, 50% of the time, what's going to happen is that this guy is going to die. And then when he doesn't, well, then the whole base is going to aggro on you. You're only safe if he dies. So to protect yourself, you're only going to be using, and I'm going to use 1 here just to demonstrate, you're only going to be using 2 on this guy. You're never just going to give him 1. Because, I mean, maybe this time it'll work. And then walk out here and now run once you're through the threshold of the door. This is as far as I've tested it. So we'll see what happens, see if we can whack him this time. But if not, you just have to take my word for it. 50% of the time, he doesn't die. See, he's still alive. So now it's going to be trouble in River City because if I try to walk back in here, he's really messed up because of the drugs. You see what those 2 jets do to him. They really, really, really mess him up. But at this point, holy crap. All right, well, I'll give him another one.
Well, hello there.
Yeah, so he didn't. But see, he's almost. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not desirable. I guess in this case, but the last time I tested this when I came back up here, these guys everybody went aggro on me. So I mean, I guess if that didn't work, you could run and get another explosion, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. But again, you'd probably get a free pass here too because he's still on the jet. So we'll give him that, and then we'll use the same trick to get away. You just want to put some space in between you and him because when the jets really have a negative effect on him. So now we'll do this, and voila, he's dead. So obviously you want to have 2 of those. So that is the new secret technique that I developed, and I don't know, what was that, like less than 10 minutes? I was also able to show you guys what happens if you don't recruit Sergeant Granitz and his men, but you only activate the counterinsurgency. I really hope that for you speedrunners, that now that you have this new technique in your arsenal, I'd love to see what you guys do with it. And because it annoys the hell out of me when you guys do like constant reloads and spamming reloads all the time. Well, I've now bought you an extra out because of what I've brought forth to this game. So now it's 1 less reload. Well, and that does mean that your any percentage runs are going to be a couple seconds, probably half a minute to a minute faster. All right, well, it was really great to be able to show this to you, and I really hope that your gameplay improves because of what you have seen here today, and make sure to spread this around. But you also heard it here first, and I'll be gloating about it in another video coming at another time zone near you. All right, guys, you have a great night.